High tech.
But you can turn it off.
Okay.
He might need the soap.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, I'll be able to hold it. Okay.
Pack it down with
That's a bad start.
Really bad start. It's performance art.
Maybe you should put on glasses. Glasses fell.
Don't step
It's
on your
okay, I'll
glasses.
just break them.
Modernist performance art, that's board.
Modernist.
Oh my god.
Futurism.
Say what?
Introduce the next poet when you're done. Just say
Yeah, sure. Ford, how do I say your kid's name?
Ewan.
Ewan?
No, don't do that.
Ewan.
Ewan? All right. You ready? Okay. This one's called Droppin Gs. Because I'm a lonely bard searching for the only bar that'll put mixed words in their mixed drinks freely with no holds barred. So should we meet mid-sentence, I won't be able to shake your hand because I'll be too busy holding my tongue. And so this rhetoric is bound to be a little pathetic and, well, probably a bit wet. But I'm prepared to fight dirty. See, I drop the G off words to shove them to the punchlines drawn in this here sandbox with fused syntax and these ham hocks to be heard in spoken word. You gotta have confidence. So remember that as you watch me break my arm patting myself on the back, and remember that when I strong arm you to take your English cred, and if you're wanting it back you better buy me an apostrophe to hang above each one of my ends because I'm dropping G's, or ain't you remembering? So if you could just come here and cut the tag from my collar. No, it's fine, I know, I always wear my shirts 2 sizes too small, but it's mostly to perpetuate the feeling that someone's choking me so that every breath is something closer to the last, which is a real bitch if you've got asthma. But because of that, you won't see me up here sporting a hazmat suit and hosing you down with surplus teenage chemicals. This is a mic for grievances, not egregious therapy sessions where poets subject adjectives in abstract ways to define their failed relationships. I've attended some open mics where poets turned the place into a makeshift abortion clinic, and this is, of course, post-bombing. And if that's the case, then it's my place to go ahead and splatter these walls with your loosely shaped child. Just because you brought it to the mic and forced everyone to golf clap, don't make it beautiful, and it don't make it art. And all these kind of poets leaning on that love crutch might want to take this to heart, because I'd say I'm beyond first impressions, especially if I'm using your love eulogies to paint the room as my poetic expression. And so yeah, I might be digressing, but we're dropping G's and past first impressions. Would you care, perhaps, maybe, for some passionless sex? No, I don't want that stinky look. Weren't you listening to my prior confession when I informed you that I wasn't wasting my breath in this mic about the small particulars, in particular feeding your ego, babe, because I gotta go out and hunt for enough food for thought just so I don't starve my own. Because like I may have mentioned, I'm about dropping G's. I'm a cumulonimbus cloud who can barely shower you with a handful of dimes, and that alone keeps me from promising any mediocre times, and I'm not even fooling about making it rain. Shit, I'm lucky to make it sprinkle in this partly cloudy poem, and yeah, that was a joke, so I hope you know I won't be taking you to any kind of serious dinner in this lyrical discourse. I mean, maybe we might split an appetizer, but I'll split before the main course, because I won't be forced to ever give a signature for a plate of crow I can't afford because I've dropped too many G's and now I'm grammatically piss poor. And so know that you're tuned into the static of the status quo, one extraterrestrial terrestrial broadcast that probably comes way too fast, when all you really want to know if I'm going to be the one to impregnate this radio embryo. My man, how you doing tonight? I'm up here, you know, dropping G's, or at least mid-thrust in reference to that fact, and no G's were harmed in that last sentence, so you can go ahead and bring them on back, bring them along to play. Did I mention I'm available for babysitting, maybe even baby making? Because spoken word is potent sperm. It's about wearing your C-section scar as a badge of honor. That ugly bulge got so big that you didn't give birth as much as they were forced to rip that creation out of you. But this is, of course, before I splatter the walls with it. And if I'm lucky and play my cards wrong, I'll be dropping lowercase g's off at the nursery so they can grow up to become part of the capitalist society with the mentality of one day becoming capitalized. And I'm aware that I gesture like hell when I speak, but it's because my own words move me. I'll even drop G's in a 3G network. Hey man, what's your net worth? Did you get a college degree, or did you drop out. And I myself had to drop this gimmick of dropping G's the day I petitioned UT to adopt a spoken word poetry class. I spoke politely and lightly in this same shirt and tie to have them ask me about the sociological relevance of such a class. Just what would spoken word prove? And I could not speak. I had no words, just the mumbling hum of history and several thousand noisy verbs that now didn't seem to carry much action or could find any homely satisfaction within the minds of these, or within the hands of these scholastic minds, this committee of consequences. So I told them what spoken word was about, best to my understanding, that it's about dropping Jesus from the text and revising the Old Testament as Saul Williams would, out with the old and in with the few, sit and collaborate with the devil sniffing glue, letting them know that I'm just a gnat until I'm not, that this is the argument of the beaten yoke, scrambling to try to kneel at the academic pew, since every poet worth his ink tries hard to rewrite the Bible in unrhymed, modernized iambic pentameter with scribbled out pentagrams doodled in the perimeter, so we can make words and ideals and convictions and a whole lot of other superstitions converge recklessly in dramatic fashion, so that no one truly understands it or its sociological relevance, but we all kind of maybe sort of get a glimpse of the sense of our nonsense about premarital mattress passions or being judgmental to our own kind. So bear in mind that that's what I'm preaching to you about dropping G's, even the big one, if it means you won't try to front and come close and sit up front to be baptized by a man with an overactive saliva gland and a downright refusal to stand here and spit about love. Thank you. Oh, okay. Ewan. We got Ewan Ford with the Gut Pill House.
Ewan, walk around. Ewan.